We have London's very own warship. It is the C-35 HMS Belfast. The Belfast is a Southampton-class cruiser. It was built in Northern Ireland, Belfast, in the same shipyard as the ill-fated Titanic, the hull and wharf. She weighed 11,500 tons, and she saw action in the Second World War, where she helped to sink the famous pocket German battleship, the Scharnhorst. She last saw action in the Korean campaign of 1952, where she was the flagship for the United Nations. These days is a floating museum open to the public 7 days a week. You can go aboard the Belfast and have a good look around. There is 9 decks to explore. And if you have children under the age of 16, they go aboard totally free of charge. To your right hand side we have a lovely building here with the clock face in the centre. Now that's called Waterguard House, home to customs and excise. If you bring too much duty free, too many cigarettes or too much alcohol back into the country, it all gets confiscated off you. Brought back to this point here, where it gets stored in this rather large vaults downstairs. They say they store it here for one incident. I've never ever seen any smoke coming out of that building. And they do say at Christmas time here they have the best staff party anywhere in London. It goes on for around about 3 weeks. London Bridge ahead of us now. Possibly one of the most famous bridges to span the River Thames. And there has been 5 bridges to span this site over the last 2,000 years, dating back to the Romans. This is the 5th bridge. It was opened in 1973 by the Queen. The predecessor to this bridge was sinking into the Thames mud. It was taken down stone by stone, piece by piece, sold to an American gentleman for £1 million, and then re-erected over Lake Havasu on the Arizona desert as a tourist attraction. Once through the bridge, look over here to your left. We have a back entrance with a wooden pirate ship inside. And this is a replica of Sir Francis Drake's ship, the Golden Hind. They say that this replica to your left-hand side has done more nautical miles than the original. It has been around the world twice, taking more or less the exact same route as what Drake took himself. To the right-hand side, we see a little box coming out into the river. And if we're very lucky, we may see someone in a state of undress. This is a luxury spa and sauna. And when they built the spa and sauna, they put one-way glass in. Now, we can see it, so they can't see out, we can see it, they put it in the wrong way round. And as you can imagine, gentlemen, some days are better than others. Today's a very, very bad day. This is the Cannon Street Rail Bridge now. The oldest commercial rail bridge to span the River Thames. The next one up ahead of us, this is the Southwark Road Bridge. It was built in 1921, and it was built to take the congestion off the old London Bridge that stood further downriver. Not many people know the bridge is here. It's not used very much. It's very well hidden within the one-way streets of London and the rather large office buildings you can see either side. Look to your left-hand side now, just ahead of us here, we have a white circular-shaped building with a thatched roof. And this is a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. Unfortunately, it does not stand on the original Elizabethan site. That stands behind us where the Financial Times building stands today. That's where the original Globe Theatre would have stood all those many years ago. There was a man called Sam Wanamaker. It was his dream to replicate the Globe Theatre. He started the project, more or less completed it, and sadly passed away. He's built to the actress Zoe Wanamaker. Finished it off in 1997. It was then opened by herself and the Queen. You can go inside there and get a full guided tour. They also perform Shakespeare's plays in the traditional ways all through the summer months. It is one of the finest open-air theatres anywhere in the world. To your right-hand side, you can see the dome and the golden cross of St Paul's Cathedral. A lovely view there. Also built by Sir Christopher Wren, the famous architect. Can't remember what I was going to say. Now, St Paul's Cathedral stands 365 feet tall. Now, that's quite easy to remember. 1 foot for every day of the year. And the dome on top of St Paul's Cathedral is the second largest unsupported cathedral dome anywhere in the world. The largest one standing is St Peter's in the Vatican City of Rome. Now, you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we've got very, very high tide today. So I'm going to climb up here and make sure we can get through the bridge here. We've got a very big spring tide. The bridges ahead of us, these are the Blackfriars bridges. I think the tide's about 6.8. How big's the tide? 7.7 metres. A very, very big tide today. So as you can see, I'm just going to keep an eye out. I think we're alright. Yeah, you're alright, Danny boy. You're alright. We'll go for it. These are Blackfriars bridges. The first one here is the Blackfriars Rail Bridge. Undergoes some heavy construction work at the moment. You might want to tuck in a moment, alright? Don't worry about it. And this one's the Blackfriars Road Bridge, built in 1886 on Expressway from Queen Victoria. Look how tight that is, ladies and gentlemen. Very tight today, isn't it? Big tight. Now look to your right-hand side now. We have a building with a green sloping roof and a black pinnacle in the centre. This is the old City of London School for Boys. Now some of this country's most famous scholars were educated inside this building here to your right. And if you look very closely across the front of the building, either side of the arched windows, there is 4 engraved statues. They are of Milton, Bacon, Newton and Shakespeare, 4 of this country's most famous scholars. The red brick building to your left, that's called Stamford Wharf, an old meat warehouse. On top of the building we have the Oxo Tower. Back in the 1930s, this was Oxo's headquarters. And we do have very strict advertising laws here on the banks of the River Thames, believe it or not, ladies and gents. And Oxo decided to incorporate their logo into glass. They put it right at the very top of that tower, defying all outdoor advertising and regulations on the banks of the River Thames. They went to court over this situation many, many times and always won the day. And as you can see, they've